Today on In the Woodyard, we're going to talk about seven reasons why firewood is not selling very good this year. Here we go. So I get asked all the time, Chris, are you going to sell out this year? How much wood do you have? Will it last? Are people buying? The answer is I have a lot of wood. I will not sell out. And people are not buying as much wood as they did in past years. And I came up with 7 reasons why that I think that is the case. It's not just me. These are other firewood providers, sellers of firewood that I have talked to. There's a consensus, and we pretty much all agree. Number 7, I'm going to start with a controversy. This is something that you seem to be on one side or the other. I don't know, you'll find out my viewpoint on this right now. We are having a very mild winter. Now, some people will say, oh my gosh, it's global warming. Oh my gosh, it's climate change. You know what I call it? Weather. The Earth's been here for 2 billion years. We've always had weather. We're going to continue having weather. One thing for sure I can guarantee you, it will change. It always has, and it always will. There's been 7 ice ages. The last one was 11,000 years ago. I'm pretty sure we didn't cause that. Change is gonna happen, and the little bit we're affecting it is nothing. We're fleas on a dog's back. The earth will scratch us off long after we're gone. You know what happened? The earth will continue changing. But this year, we've had a very, very mild fall. It was nice warm temperatures. So far, it's been a very, very mild winter. We're in winter right now. It's the end of December. It's 40 degrees today. Absolutely beautiful out. It's supposed to be 40 degrees for the next 4 or 5 days, and then it's only supposed to cool down into the 30s, and then it's supposed to moderate back up again. The lows at night here have been high 20s, mid 20s. For the middle of December, normally we would have snow, cold, blowing, ice, death, despair. It hasn't happened. So the mild winter is one of the reasons. I don't care where you fall on the spectrum of believing in the whole global warming, climate change thing. Doesn't matter. We can't affect it. All I know is the wood's not selling that well. That's part of the reason. Number 6, I think part of the reason why wood is not selling as well as it used to is there's a lot of people that have their own firewood processing equipment. There's a lot of people that do it as a hobby part-time, and the equipment has gotten so good and so efficient and so much faster than what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's pretty easy to produce a pretty good amount of firewood in a very short amount of time. And a lot of people that aren't even selling wood, just guys that do it as a hobby, are buying nice equipment, and they can produce way more wood than they need. They like to do it, and then they're doing it for other people, and then they're loaning out the equipment to other people. So the availability of firewood is way up. I think that's one of the big reasons. Number 5, it's partially my fault, and it's your fault. There are a lot of people teaching people how to make firewood, how to get better at it, what to do, what not to do, what to look for, what kind of wood is best, what kind of equipment is the right equipment to have to do a better job. YouTube has changed the world, really, in education. You can go online in a matter of an hour or 2. You can watch a bunch of videos on any topic. Firewood happens to be one of them. And you can learn a whole bunch of stuff that years ago, in the olden times, back when I was a child, you had to learn the hard way. You know, you had to go out and help Grandpa, help your dad. And they would give you little bits of information and make you work hard before they taught you anything. Now, you go online in a matter of a couple hours, you can learn a lot of stuff. So it's partially my fault and you guys out there teaching it. But that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. But that's part of it. Number 4, there are a lot of people that are new to the firewood game. People that are providing firewood all over the place. And I think what has happened in a lot of cases is guys get a tree in their yard that they want to cut down, or their neighbor's tree, and they go, oh, I should sell that for a few bucks. And they put it out on the side of the road, or they'll put an ad on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, something like that, and they'll sell the wood. And they think, well, if I make 50 bucks on this, you know, third of a cord or this pile of wood, I don't even know how much it is, they'd say, oh, it's 50 bucks for the whole pile. I think they're driving down the market to a degree because there's so much wood available, and those guys don't really know how to price it for the value of what it is, for the amount of work it takes, the equipment you need to do it, the knowledge that you need in order to do it, and the hard work and the time you put into it. And I don't think they're doing anybody any service by lowering the prices and lowering the bar so much that they're almost giving their wood away. And there's a lot of them. Number 3 kind of ties in with number 4. There is firewood for sale everywhere. I see roadside stands everywhere. I was just up at my brother Ken's, and within a matter of a half mile from his house, there was at least 7 or 8 stands selling firewood. Same thing with my brother Eric. I spent some time down there deer hunting, and as we were driving, going to the spots, literally it was like every block, every corner you came to, there was a firewood stand. It's for sale everywhere. And a lot of the people that have roadside stands that I've talked to said their sales have been down or they have not had any growth. And the longer you have a stand, generally the more you sell because people get used to coming there and you get new people. And that hasn't been the case. One of the people that I know personally that I've talked to that has a firewood stand, and they told me this summer they went a month without selling a single bundle. Another guy I talked to said that he went about 2 months and sold 3 bundles. And he said normally it was a bundle or 2 every week. I talked to my brother Ken up in northern Wisconsin. He said that at his stand that he's got in front of his house, he has sold 1 sleeve, so that's like $20 worth, and then a couple bundles in the last 2 months. And he lives in an area that there's a lot of people that burn wood. And he said normally he would sell a lot more. So sales are down. There's also a guy that I know that produces large quantities of bundle wood, and I talked to him and he said his sales were down. He does it on a part-time basis, but it's pretty big. He just said not nearly as good as it was last year, and the year before was even higher, and the year before that was even higher. I think part of it was when COVID happened, everybody was staying home and having fires. So the sales have come down. Now, it's going to lead into the next topic. Number 2, there are dead trees everywhere. There are so many dead trees that I see everywhere I go that either tree service people are cutting down or people cutting down themselves or trees that need to be cut down. There's firewood available everywhere. There's probably, I could think of just between the farm here where my wood yard is to where my business is 3 miles. I bet I can count 50 trees that I see that are dead. And a lot of those have been cut down and they're laying in piles. The golf course, which is just down the road there, they're cutting all their ash trees, and that's the big reason is the emerald ash borer. They're cutting all their ash trees down. They got firewood everywhere piled up, and they're selling it. A golf course, and they had never sold wood before. So firewood is everywhere. Between the emerald ash borer killing trees, and it's all through the United States. I'm sure it's other parts of the world too that the ash trees are dying. There was Dutch elm disease back in the 70s, and that still is killing off a lot of the elm trees. They don't seem to ever get real mature. They seem to die before they get to that bigger. The other one is oak wilt. And oak wilt is killing basically red oak and black oak. It's a slow death. I have a friend that has some woods. He has about 90 acres. And he has probably a dozen to 20 trees every year that die. It's just gradually working its way throughout the property. The trees that are standing alone are living because they're not connected to the other trees through the roots or the tops where they can catch the disease. So it's a slow, cancerous type of disease that's killing off a lot of the oak trees. Another one is the spruce beetles that are killing off big swaths of spruce stands, especially some of the swamps that are low-lying black spruce swamps in northern Wisconsin. A lot of those trees are dying off. So there's dead trees everywhere. There's more arborists right now working than I've ever seen anywhere. And I think a lot of them are getting a lot of business because there's trees everywhere. Because what happens is as a tree dies, the branches start falling off and they start hitting the house, coming through the roof, landing on cars. People eventually have to get them taken care of. And I think that we are probably at the peak right now, and eventually that's going to go down in the next 2 to 3 years, and then there'll be none. The ash trees will all be gone. And then a lot of those arborists will be out of work. Well, not a lot of them. I would say most of them, because a lot of them aren't full-time people. They're doing it on the side. The big places will still be fine. There'll be plenty of trimming to do. There's a lot of landscaping and tree work that they can do, a lot of shrub trimming, all that kind of stuff. They'll probably be fine. But right now there's dead trees everywhere. The number one reason why firewood sales are down, and I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, the left or the right, we have a very poor economy right now. Food costs are up 30 to 40% in stores for buying food. If you go out to eat, you're going to pay 50% more than you used to pay. I know I eat a lot of fast food because I got to keep my girlish figure. And when I eat my lunches, I used to get a burger, fries, and a drink $6 to $8. Now it's 12 to 14 everywhere you go. It's just the way it is. Food costs are way up. Because food costs are up and people got to eat, Their budgets are tighter. I know a lot of people that tell me they are finding ways to try to make cheaper food at home instead of going out. And a lot of people that are making their food at home and they're trying cheaper ways to do that, buying in bulk, breaking it down. I have people that are mentioned to me that have been buying cows from farmers, sharing them with their families, splitting up so they each get a quarter of a cow because you can get it so much cheaper doing it that way. So food costs are way up. Car prices, truck prices. If you've looked at what stuff costs now, my truck, for example, it's going on 8 years old. I need to replace it fairly soon. When I bought it 8 years ago, it was $32,000. That exact same truck right now is $56,000. In 8 years, that price went up. It's ridiculous, and it's like that for everything. For those of you that have been buying equipment, you know, if you don't pull the trigger on buying a piece of equipment, you regret it 6 months later when you need it because the price has gone up 10, 20, 30%. Everything is costing more now. So it doesn't matter, again, politically where you are. It's just a fact. Facts are facts. Some people are afraid of facts. I'm not. You got to learn what the facts are and then adapt and overcome and just win the day. I have one more. So I have a bonus one. This is number 8. And the bonus one that I have for you, I was talking with my brother about this just the other day. I've been selling wood to a lot of the same people year after year after year. And this year, I've had 3, maybe 4 that I know would always buy a full cord, sometimes full cord and a half. One of them buys 2 full cords every year. They died. A lot of my customers are old people. Or one of them I think moved, take that back, they didn't all die. But I know 3 of them that have. Because I contacted one of them and I got a hold of the spouse and they said, yes, we're not burning anymore. My husband died, we're not burning anymore, we're selling the house because my husband's in a home or wife's in a home. I've had that happen 3 times because I contact some of my old customers that would buy every year. Now, my brother Ken, he has a lot of people that heat with wood, and a lot of those people, he said, also are dying off. And I think the reason is well, obviously they're getting old, but the reason that the sales are down is those people aren't being replaced. A lot of young people can't afford a new home, think they're never going to buy a new home. I happen to have 2 like that are my kids in their 20s now. They said the likelihood that they'll ever own a home is very low because everything is so expensive. Interest rates are so high. Housing costs are so high. The cost of housing has gone up so much. They're kind of almost admitting defeat before they've really got into the fight, so to speak. And I think a lot of people that are those younger people are renters, and they don't have fireplaces, they don't have fire pits, they're not burning wood for heat. So that's part of the reason. Another one of the reasons, and I had this happen twice now this year, people that I sold to that I normally would sell a full cord to, and this year they bought 1 face cord. And I'd asked them flat out, you know, usually you get a full cord, why aren't you getting a full cord? And they both told me the same thing. Well, our kids are growing up and at college now. And when our kids were home, we would have a fire in the evenings quite often, or on weekends, kids would have friends over and they'd have parties in the backyard, having cookouts and stuff. And they said, we don't do that anymore. The kids are grown and gone. So that's another reason. So that is all the reasons I could think of. There's 8. If you have any, let me know in the comments what you think and what your experiences are. I'm interested to find out what you guys are finding out with your firewood sales or what your burning habits are, what other people are doing. Let me know in the comments. That is it for today, folks. You know what to do. Poke the buttons. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video just for you. Right now, you should go to my channel and watch some other videos. There's over 1,300 videos there waiting for you to watch right now. Good night, everybody.